What's up, guys? We're back here on the channel for another install video. I ended up picking up something really exciting, and this thing is really cool. It is the WaterPort Weekender 8-gallon pressurized water tank that I'm going to be mounting on the top of the PRESSURIZED roof rack here. And first and foremost, I'm all about buying things that are not only pretty awesome and cool, but also serve a great purpose. I think this thing will serve a great purpose for me when we go on camping trips, and I have a few dogs, and cleaning them off, as well as taking showers and cleaning any of our gear, shoes, and what have you off with pressurized water on the truck. I feel like that's really convenient, and I think it's going to come in handy big time. Alright guys, so here we have the WaterPort Weekender, and what that means is it's a 8-gallon pressurized water tank that can be mounted anywhere basically on your rig. I'm going to be mounting mine on my PRESSURIZED roof rack to provide 8 gallons of pressurized water whenever I need to, and whenever I need to use it. So here is everything that the Weekender WaterPort 8-gallon tank is going to be coming with, and we'll start from left to right. This appears to be our brackets that we in our hardware to mount these brackets to the actual bottom side of the tank, and we'll get to that later. Again, I'm going to be mounting this to a PRESSURIZED rack, so the orientation is going to be kind of special of how I'm going to have it. We also have the 16-foot, I believe, coil hose that features these quick disconnect fittings. Here is our pressurized fill valve. This is what we'll be hooking up to our faucet at my house here to fill the tank once we have it installed. This is the nozzle, which feels really good in the hands. Like I said, and again, before I keep going, all the stuff is to highest quality. It's great stuff. Everything's built really well. Last but not least, we have our on and off valve that we'll be mounting to the tank here after we fill it up. So here we are looking at the bottom of the tank, and as you can see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections on each side that you can mount your plates to, and they're all inserted threads. So a lot of guys can run these brackets this way, sideways, and that allows you to mount to your PRESSURIZED rack with these slots back here, I believe. Because of my confined space on my rack, I'm going to try and attempt to use these plates this way, flipped over and vertically, to adapt to my rack and to conserve space instead of this thing sitting out on both sides, taking up a lot of room that I really don't have. Alright, so here's how I mounted my first plate or mounting bracket onto the tank vertically, and I've used the holes all the way this way so I could have this bracket and this bracket kind of be evenly spaced. I'm going to be showing you the stack up and the way to put these on when we install this bracket right here. So the first thing that we need to do is take these washers that have rubber on one side and put it face down on the holes that you're going to be using. In this case, I'm going to be using these 4 holes with the rubber facing down, and then going to be taking our bracket here, gently placing it over, and sliding it into place where I need to be, and then we'll go over the stack up of the actual hardware to mount to the tank. So the order of which you're going to be mounting this hardware is the little bolts, lock washer goes on, big washer goes on, And then you're going to take first one and start threading it into the hole. Next, I'm going to be using my 3/16 T-handle to go around and snug all these bolts up for now to see what I'm working with and see what I'm playing with as far as spacing. WaterPort themselves were kindly enough able to include some of these bolts that will adapt to the Prinsu roof rack, so we can slide them into the T-slots, as well as mounting our washers and nuts to the actual brackets to mount the tank up there. So here's what we're working with here on the top of the truck. So I have the WaterPort 8-gallon tank up on top of the Prinsu rack, and as you can see, I have MaxTrax mounts up here as well. So the reason why I mounted these vertically is to be able to fit this in between my Roam box and the MaxTrax mounts. It's kind of sandwiched the tank in the middle of the rack here, and it's gonna work out good because I had to temporarily remove my MaxTrax mount, but I'm gonna be throwing in my T-slot bolts and mounting to here, 2, and then mounting to here, 2, and I think 4 bolts should be sufficient enough to hold this beast down. So here you have it. The WaterPort is installed, as well as my MaxTrax boards again. Everything fits tight and nice and easily accessible. There's 4 bolts holding the WaterPort down. It is not going anywhere. And now I'm just going to fill it with water and actually test it out and pressurize it. So here we are at the tank here. What we're gonna be doing is lightly and gently threading on our on and off valve onto here, so we can start filling and connect our line there and use our faucet to pressurize the tank and fill it. So the next step I'm going to be doing is threading the pressurized nozzle piece onto my home spigot here, and then that should allow me to connect the 16-foot hose to this end and run it up to the truck and connect to the other end. Now, once we've connected both ends, I barely have enough here. I just have to move the truck a little closer. We can open both valves, make sure the valve on the top there is open, as well as this one, and then I believe we can start filling. One thing I suggest you guys do is to make sure you pull this piece off here and thread tape the threads underneath this black nozzle piece. One thing I did notice when I tried filling this, even though this was very tight, was that I did end up with water leaking from this fitting, and it was messing with my water pressure going into the tank. So by putting thread tape on here, your generic thread tape, you will avoid this guy leaking when you're trying to pressurize and use the water. Once again, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. The WaterPort tank is fantastic. It served me well so far. We actually had a little camping trip this past weekend, and I used it several times to clean off equipment and clean off shoes, etc. It is worth the money if you're going to be wanting pressurized water off the truck for trail use or camping use. And once again, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. There's much more exciting content like this on the way. Take care. Have a good night.